interesting new emojis I have available.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Trailer Talk. Today we are beginning our rebranding. We are now going to be known as Trailer Trash Talk because it was brought to our attention that somebody named John Legend apparently has a podcast already named Trailer Talk, so we're kind of making a new change here. But you see the new intro and logo, it's all a work in process. We have a great show for you today, including breaking news. Kim Jong-un has been sighted.
Good to hear. We know he's a regular viewer. We're glad he's back up and about and watching again. As we've said before, thoughts and wishes. Glad to see you back up, man.
Now, I do have a question for you. Everybody was getting, I'd almost say, eager for Kim Yo-jong to take control over there. Now, first off, is this the same one that poisoned the cousin in the airport a few years ago? Do you remember the story?
I think so. I mean, did they not? Wasn't that inconclusive, or was that?
Oh, he definitely got poisoned.
Well, no, we know that, but
I think it may have been her. I just wasn't sure.
Could be.
Also, if I were the beautiful and honorable Miss Kim Yo-jong, I may be a little worried because of how eager the rest of the world seemed to be for her.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Because I think one of their siblings was strapped to the front of a anti-aircraft.
Yeah, it's probably not good to be that obviously liked in that family if you are not the head honcho. But who knows?
We are in the process of seeing if there's any way for us to get the contact info for Miss Kim Yo-jong to see if we can get an exclusive phone interview, but there's no word on that yet. Other news, it's not quite as cheery. We passed the 60,000 COVID death milestone a few days ago. Did see there's 102 potential COVID vaccines in the works right now. Also,
102 different vaccines?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Throw out a wide net. I mean, surely something's got to work.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Texas, they reopened, went Monday, I think, or maybe today is when some of it reopened. And we're already seeing spikes. I think Dallas County had its highest daily infection yet. It seems to be the wrong direction to move as far as this curve. I know we haven't heard about that in a while, but that curve doesn't seem to be going down, and they're opening things. So that kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah. Guess they've given up on that whole flattening thing.
I think at a certain point, again, we've had viewers ask why we don't bring up politics on this show, and the answer is simple. We each have ingrained political beliefs. I, however, would be willing to spout either way for the right price, so I don't want to get pigeonholed in one direction or the other. I will say stupid is stupid, though, and when you're seeing an increase in infections, that doesn't seem to be the right time, to politics aside, to open things up. At the same time, I don't think it makes sense for some politicians, such as the ones in New Orleans, to decide that there's going to be nothing takes place in any public fashion at any point through the end of 2020. I think it's a little too early to say shit like that.
Yeah, that is a little presumptive. As you say, that is a little presumptive, but yeah, overall, Guys, take this serious. I know we're tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want to go back to life. Hell, I miss work. You know how bored you gotta be to miss work? But we ain't there. Still a lot of problems for people. Everybody's still worried about the old folks and our other at-risk populations. And again, the COVID probably won't mess up most of us. But it's those after effects, side issues they keep talking about. Your lung problems, your heart problems. I don't want to deal with that. So we got to try and do this. Stay home, wash your hands, wear your masks into Walmart. Please.
Or try and avoid going to places like Walmart. Order what you can, get what you can brought out to your car, and do it all at once so you don't have to make several trips out. You know, just be mindful, you know. And staying on the political thing briefly, we're also looking at the possibility of getting Miss Tara Reid on the show, maybe calling in, see if we can get an interview. We have seen that she's been getting blackballed from a lot of the political talk shows or talk shows of any sort. If she wants to tell her story, we are more than willing to offer her a platform. We'd love to get her on the show, hear what she says. Now, we're not pitching support to Joe Biden or against him. Again, we're very apolitical here until someone offers us a reason to go with one side. But we do believe that women should be heard, and we're very willing to give her a platform to tell her story. We just are trying to figure out how to get in touch with her people.
Okay. We should really be a good platform for Miss Reid. I was doing a little reading about her search for someone to get her story out there. Apparently her big problem is everyone either wants to turn this into a political hit piece or they want nothing to do with it. So the left and the right, she doesn't want to come out on a left or right platform. As we've stated several times, we're the moderates. We'll talk to everybody.
I absolutely right. I don't throw my support blindly behind one party or the other. I voted for Republicans and Democrats. Like I said, I look at stupid and say that's not what I'm standing behind. We would be a completely neutral platform for Ms. Reid to get her story across. No political hit piece here. We would love to hear her thoughts. And like I said, we're going to look at making it happen. Did you see we had armed protesters storm the Michigan State Capitol yesterday evening? I believe around 4:40 p.m. or so, 4:30 p.m.
I see we're staying with the topic of standing in stupid.
Now, I 100% support the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. I don't think they should necessarily be combined, especially when you're...
This was the wrong place and the wrong time to mix those guys.
I agree. This wasn't a Second Amendment rally from what I understand. I have no problem with the Second Amendment rallies where everybody open carries. Awesome. When you're protesting something and storming the Capitol, and that just seems like a recipe for disaster. I mean, as much as the idea of that, man, come on.
I'm still baffled as... We'd be shot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these must have been some clean-cut Sunday school teacher-looking people to the... If we walked into the Capitol building with a BB gun, let alone anything else, we're going to have a bad time.
Well, I saw that they recently, within the last couple of years, actually had some law passed that allowed weapons at the state capitol.
All right. Well, that's nice of them. I'm pretty sure there's a proviso that says you can't go uninvited into the governor's office with those things.
Again, I mean, it just seems like two things that maybe shouldn't be mixed together. Did you see this story about the Rutgers professor that was saying some stupid shit on the internet?
I did not.
Alright, so this woman named Brittany Cooper, she's an associate professor in the Department of Women's, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, which it's unbelievable that even exists. But she said in a series of tweets, "Fuck each and every Trump supporter. You absolutely did this. You are to blame," when referencing the coronavirus impacts on the minority communities in the United States. And then after receiving some backlash, she released another flurry of tweets that included, "I said what I meant, and I curse 'cause I'm grown. I have tenure. Rutgers won't be firing me for tweets. That is all." How the fuck does tenure work? I mean, does that just makes you impervious from being fired for being a dumbass? Like, is that what that means?
For all intents and purposes, yes. The more tenure you have, the harder it is to fire you for stupid. And while I support this lady's right to use her free speech on whatever platform gives her that right, I'm going to say I disagree and I question her intelligence. But I've met a lot of college professors, and that doesn't mean the same thing to me that it once did when I was younger.
Yeah, you know, at the good old SLU that we attended, there were some professors that I think were dumber than some of the people we went to high school with when we were in high school together.
I'm not going to name names, and just because this guy was not a bad teacher, I actually enjoyed this class, but I am going to say one semester at Southeastern, I worked with a guy on campus, and the next semester he was teaching me English. No, this isn't like show or video worthy, but they were doing Disney's got all the Star Wars shit on sale for the run up to the May the 4th be with you. May the 4th is unofficial Star Wars Day.
Everybody knows that shit, Joseph. May the 4th be with you.
Well, you can't give me that fucking blank look. I mean,
the reason all the Star Wars shit is on sale is because no one has bought it over the last 3 movies that came out because they fucking sucked.
You're not wrong. I saw that, and the thing I was most excited for, they have the original trilogy, like the original, not the remastered one, or you can get the remastered trilogy.
Welcome back. Now, we touched at the beginning of the show that Kim Jong-un was alive. Reports are coming out that he may have been holed up with a 2,000 woman pleasure squad.
Wow. I may have to give the guy a little more credit than I have been. That's
Hold up. How are you not giving the dude credit? Now, in case you didn't know, this man hit an 18 in a round of golf. Meaning he hole-in-one every one of them sumbitches. Every single one. I don't know of anyone else in the history of humans or golf that has hit an 18.
Do we have a video of this feat? or any sort of conclusive evidence of this, Marvel? I mean, this has to go in the record books if this is the case.
Hold on, dude. Let me,
Or is this just like Korean basketball, where it is just so vastly different that,
I can't find the conclusive evidence you wanted. I was sure it would be on there. There is a picture of him swinging a cricket bat, but...
no, I mean, if he got an 18 with a cricket bat, that's even more impressive.
You know what? I'm just saying, I'm not going to question Kim Jong-un. He, again, seems like a very honorable man. But, again, apparently he is alive, present, everything, so...
And still in possession of anti-aircraft guns, so...
That is
yes,
correct.
He is a remarkable golfer.
Remarkable golfer, and I'm sure a basketball and cricket and baseball player as well. So what do we have going on in entertainment there, Leatherhead guy?
Let's see. In movie news, disappointing before the quarantine. Nothing good. I think everything decent has been pushed back to come out in theaters, and everything we weren't going to watch anyway has been released direct to streaming or download. If anybody is interested, Harrison Ford's new movie is available for download, and we can watch him run around with a CGI dog.
Speaking of Harrison Ford, I don't know if you saw the story the other day. He is facing an FAA violation right now. Again, this is a man who I believe several times over the last few years has had these infractions from his avid self-piloting that he's into. He's 77 years old, by the way. 77 years old. A lot of people get uncomfortable. No offense, nothing wrong with it. A lot of younger people tend to get uncomfortable when you have someone approaching their 80s behind the wheel of a car.
Let alone a...
This man is flying planes. Well, he got his violation because he was on the runway when there was another fucking plane on the runway, and they were apparently they communicated with him through the radio and said, "You have to wait, you're not supposed to be there." He's like, "Oh, okay," and then fucking came out onto the runway. Now his publicity people said there was no near miss, no possibility of an accident, but still, dude, it's at a certain point we need to say, hey man, maybe we need to like give you this test again.
Never overlooking his age, I'm just gonna point out, given what you just said, this is not the first, this is probably the third or fourth time I have heard this basic story involving Harrison Ford.
We had one good story where he allegedly used his helicoptering skills to rescue someone who was like stranded on a mountain one time, I think in the late 90s, early aughts, something like that. Everything else, though, has been Harrison Ford not being the best pilot, and it kind of makes you wonder...
Well, maybe we just need to pull his license for fixed-wing planes, because all of these violations are apparently airplanes. If he's rescuing people in helicopters and pulling out in front of 747s in the plane, we'll restrict his license. He's done some good stuff. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Other entertainment news, I watched Sonic the Hedgehog the other night, and it fucking sucks, dude. Like, I don't know who their target market was for this film.
I don't think they knew.
Anybody who finds Sonic to be relevant at all are people that it's hitting their nostalgia. So they're all our age, in their 30s or older. This was a children's movie, and it was presented as such. You know, it was not the, you know, fart and dick humor like that we enjoy. It was more of the, you know, children, you know,
I guess what they were shooting for was to...
Kids don't know who the fuck Sonic the Hedgehog is.
No, but we do, and I guess they were hoping that, you know, like you said, we were going to be nostalgic. I guess we're parents' age now. They thought we were going to, Sonic, I like Sonic. I want to take my kids to see it.
The one thing they had in there maybe for you and me, you know, was they made one mention of Sonic got loose somewhere, found a chili dog, and in the motel room that night, the guy he was with, let's call him fucking Greg, because that's about how memorable and characteristic this dude was, fucking Greg. Alright, so Sonic and Greg are in the hotel room, and Sonic farts, and Greg's like, oh, what is that? And, you know, it stinks. And Sonic's like, oh, I had something, I think it was called a chili dog. And that made me go, huh, I remember that shit. That was it. I mean, that was it. The whole Jim Carrey, as excited as I was, man, that was sad. That really made me sad to watch Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey from 25 plus years ago.
Yeah, that's disappointing, because that's really what I was hoping. Was I saw the previews and I was like, is this going to be old school Jim Carrey? Because I'm sorry, Jim, I don't like your serious work. I don't believe it. It doesn't hit with me. Once again, we loved you, man. Talk with your butt.
I was even, you know, once it got to Liar Liar, now that was a good movie, but he was kind of starting to lose me there. I was like, man, this isn't you. Like, you need to have that thing with your hair, you know?
Right. Same thing with Adam Sandler. Like, he saw Jim Carrey do it, and he did it anyway.
That dude, I mean... Now, I'll give you, there's been a couple of his later movies where he's gone back to a little bit more of the slapstick shit, and I think it's been better. But yeah, for a while, you know what, I'll give him credit though. Even there was one he had with, I think Jennifer Aniston or some shit, where they were in like Hawaii or something, and no, it wasn't good.
Yeah, 50 First Dates. I remember that one.
It wasn't good, but it was better than the Jim Carrey serious shit, you know? I mean, to me, the last good Jim Carrey film was either Cable Guy or Ace Ventura 2, whichever one was latest out of those.
I think Ace Ventura 2.
I mean, past that, it's all been, you know. Man, you know, probably the best one to me since has been Dumb and Dumber 2, and that still was a little bit sad, you know, but at least it was what we were used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sonic fucking sucked. Definitely don't spend any money on it. If you can legally or morally get it for free and watch it because we're quarantined, then go for it. But yeah, I'd say watch us again from a different device and get us another view. That'd probably be more entertaining, and that's saying something.
Nah, like, they're not that fucked up. Dude, this song rocked. They're fucked.
Yeah, we were. Alright, so back to the Last Dance. Have you seen any of these? There's 4 of them out. Really good stuff. I know you're not a basketball fan in particular, not a Michael Jordan fan.
Dude, I like Michael Jordan. He did that documentary about when he saved us from aliens.
That was a good documentary. You're right. So yes, most of your Michael Jordan knowledge comes from his Alien documentary. This is a good look at the other side of him, the asshole side, which I found to be very entertaining. These last 2 episodes dealt mostly with Dennis Rodman, who I know you're familiar with. Again, brings up the Kim Jong-un ties. That's reportedly Kim Jong-un's best friend is Dennis Rodman. One last Kim Jong-un nugget. I wasn't able to find the concrete evidence of the sports records that he had requested. I did find that he was named by the Chinese media the sexiest man of the year at some point in like 2012 or something like that. So, again, pretty amazing man. You know, he got named sexiest man of the year, and he's like 5'3", 250 pounds. You know, it's not muscle. No offense, he's a great guy. So it's all about Rodman and just his eccentric personality. One of the best parts, we found out Phil Jackson, the coach of the Bulls and later the Lakers, he dropped acid. They mentioned that in the documentary, which I thought was hilarious.
Interesting.
They refer to Phil as the Zen master. You know, he's so laid back and all. It's like he's having flashbacks. He's far out there, man. No, and it went into kind of how he dealt with Rodman. He kind of just let him do his own thing. At one point, Rodman was like, I need a couple days off. I need to go to Vegas. And that was how he wanted to unwind. Phil's like, he pretty much called Michael Jordan in, and he's like, he says he needs a little vacation. And they're standing there together, and Jordan to Phil is like, if you let him go, he's not coming back. Like, he's not going to be back in 48 hours. And Phil's like, all right. He says, I'm going to give you 48 hours. And like 3 or 4 days later, Michael Jordan showed up at the hotel Dennis Rodman was staying at in Vegas and drug him back to practice. Carmen Electra said she was hiding behind the couch while that happened. That was his girlfriend at the time. We also find out from her that she and Rodman had sex all over the Bulls practice facility. Like every square inch of that practice facility they apparently fornicated on.
Well, good for you, Dennis.
Again, she's talking to her. I don't know her age. I mean, she's got to be 50 or 50-ish. She's still looking pretty banging. Pretty banging.
Stallone's had something going on. That guy hasn't looked right in, like, any of the last media red carpet things I've seen with him.
I mean, it's possible he's had some work done, but I mean, he also, I think, ingests a decent amount of,
Well, no, like, physically, I'm sure that his body he has preserved through workouts and dieting and all that proper stuff. But he had an old man face, and I've noticed it looks like it tightened up I think Stallone did Botox. Like,
he could have. He could have also, could be an effective HGH. I mean, it could be, the dude has got a small percentage of body fat on it. Like, so you've got to think, maybe he, for a couple years, wasn't hitting it as hard. And then once he got into his 60s and started doing the Rocky reboot and the fucking Rambo reboot and the miserable, what's the Expendables?
Yeah.
Those three things I feel like all started up in like a 5-6 year period. Before that, I don't feel like we had seen Stallone around as much.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you see him in those movies and he looks like Stallone, but then you see him on the red carpet for those movies, not in his Rocky, Rambo makeup, lighting, and it's...
Dude's also like fucking 67 years old. I mean,
I know, but his face doesn't look wrinkly. It just looks plastic.
Look, I'd like to think he didn't, but sure, he could have had Botox, fucking facelift, some shit. Sure, but I also think the plastic appearance could be because of the lack of body fat he has to fill it. You know, he's got old ass skin that's being, you know, stretched and angular.
Going back to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford looks like an old man. He is an old man.
Harrison Ford also does not take care of his body the way that Sylvester Stallone does. In any, like, you can't compare the two in any way. You really can't. Yeah, Harrison Ford is much more like your average old man.
probably slightly better shape than your average old man. But yeah, he was never a bodybuilder, muscle guy. I get what you're going for.
Yeah, he was always kind of that average, slightly above average,
Well, yep, and that's why we loved him.
You're right, you're right. Don't know if you saw ESPN this weekend is bringing back ESPN 8 The Ocho. They're going to be airing sports such as the exhilarating, what is it, are you serious? Cherry pit spitting. Wow, I think I could maybe compete in that. Air marble racing.
I don't know, man. I've got a lot of experience with watermelon seeds. I don't know how far I could shoot a cherry pit.
See what else we have here. World record deadlift attempt by Thor Bjornsson.
That sounds like a guy who can lift.
Yeah. Classic Tetris World Championship. Dodge juggle. What the fuck is that? Lawnmower racing at 9 p.m.
Hank Hill, eat your heart out.
Wow. Alright, so there's something to watch.
Alright. I mean, I'm down for some lawnmower racing.
Also, don't know if you saw that Justin Trudeau banned apparently 1,500 types of assault weapons in Canada.
Considering their shooter didn't get his stuff legally anyway, I don't think that's going to have any sort of impact other than to inconvenience people.
I think you're probably right.
But that has never stopped any government before, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can't really think what there is in Canada that I would want to visit for anyway.
I mean, they can mail me maple syrup.
Naples, yeah, I mean, I could leave it or take it. I mean, not a big deal. There's one last thing I wanted to show you. I didn't know if you had seen this or not. This is the trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I know only the title of this, but I was intrigued.
What an amazing trailer! Really sets the tone.
Yeah, I don't want to
Game's
hear that
coming out.
douchebag talk.
Nah, I don't care.
Yeah, it looks badass though.
Hell yeah.
Now, the one thing I'm not thrilled about is, from what I can see, it's only going to be available on the Xbox X, I believe is what it's called.
The new... Man, I just got the Xbox One. I don't have time for this.
I didn't even know there was a such thing as an Xbox X. I'm traditionally a PlayStation guy, so that really...
I used to say that, but I mean, dude, PlayStation has they haven't had any good exclusive content in so long. It's been, what's the point?
I'd pay for PlayStation just for the Metal Gear Solid content. Again, to me, one of the best games ever. That, and you've got other classics like Gran Turismo. It's racing. Like that one a lot. And I've had better luck with hardware from Sony than I have from Microsoft. I've had a PlayStation 3 for 10, 11 years now, and it stayed on for about 8 of those 11 years, and it's never had an issue. I mean, so yeah, I definitely prefer the Sony product. But yeah, that's making me reconsider that. If it's only going to be on Xbox, I might end up buying a fucking Xbox.
I mean, you see PlayStation's redesigning the remote again.
I saw something about it, but you know what? They're normally cheaper than Xbox, and they normally have as good, if not better, output and computing power as Xbox. Again, this is one of those things. Americans pay more because it's Microsoft branded, you know, just like they'll pay more for Apple than a Samsung, no matter what has the better specs on it, because one has a fucking fruit on it, you know. Anyway, That's all we have for you today. We're glad you're here with us. Remember, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Until next time, from Lil Stank and Leather Hat Guy here at Trailer Trash Talk, have a great one.